Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Right, that's it. Brian has officially pressed record. Anthony, you are in Denver, Colorado.
I am, yeah.
I am home. I was just in Atlantic City. Have you ever been to Atlantic City?
Unfortunately.
Listen, people live there. People live there, and I'm sure you have a great, happy life, but I got to say, it's not the best place to visit. No offense.
No, I was there for a M1 Global event. You remember when M1 was around?
Yep.
I cornered a couple friends in that event. And it was listen, the people are great. I don't mean anything bad towards the people. Place is kind of a shithole though. I fought there one time too, actually. I forgot I fought there one time too.
Seen a lot of people on the card that started their careers there, like Chris Weidman, and we'll get into all that stuff. So I went for a walk. I was saying recently, we're kind of obsessed with our steps, got to get enough steps in. So I'm like, right, I had my workout, went for a walk. I'm walking down the boardwalk, right, which is, I don't know why I did that. It's just a bunch of tacky shops, fake knockoff gear, and the ocean right there. Weird people. I saw, talking of getting steps in, here's the thing that they do in Atlantic City. People, like in some cities you go and you can sit in the back of like a taxi, but the guy wheels on a bike.
Yeah, yeah.
They have those, but it's just a guy pushing them along in like a scooter. People push them. I was walking faster. I'm like, you lazy bastards. That's out America. And walk.
That's America. Yeah. It's finest right there.
America is finest. I put a little picture on as I was walking back. I said, "A beautiful Atlantic City," and a lot of people just did not get the sarcasm. They're like, "What do you mean? That's not beautiful." I'm like,
look at the picture.
I know.
There's 9 dead hookers in it. Like this is Atlantic City.
Yeah, the driver said to me, he said, "Do not go wandering around late at night. You're gonna get stabbed." I almost got stabbed in the hotel, I reckon, because there were some pretty ghetto people. There was a lot of drunk, rowdy types hanging around that hotel.
I'm disappointed I missed it. That sounds. I feel like we could have tore up Atlantic City.
Oh no, it was a good time. I'm just kidding. If you're Atlantic Cityan, I am not insulting your home. Anyway, good night of fights though. Good night of fights. We'll start with Chris Weidman because that for me was the biggest story. Weidman obviously coming back after another extended layoff, breaks his leg against Weidman, fractures his other leg against
Brad Tavares.
Brad Tavares, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he looked good. He had a good fight. He showed up. I spoke to Ray Longo afterwards. He said he fought. That's the main thing that he liked. And he's right. He did. He turned up. He fought. He had a good game plan. Blindado obviously connected him and wobbled him once or twice, but it's a fight and he's a powerful striker. Well done to him. He got back in winning ways against a guy that gave Pereira a good fight, who was the middleweight champ. But the eye pokes.
Yeah.
There was a lot of eye pokes.
Yeah, but and I don't think anyone out there is saying that Chris Weidman was doing it on purpose. I don't believe that for a second. But
nope.
You got to feel for Bruno Silva a little bit, and he was losing the fight. He was down 2 rounds, but the way that Bruno fights, Chris doesn't back up a whole lot. So that Bruno fighting in blitzes and forward pressure and
we just saw that was a 1-2 eye pokes.
Yeah.
It was a 1-2.
Chris is a friend of mine. That's hard to defend, but
no. I'm not talking shit.
I know.
Happen.
But to anyone listening, they're going to be like, "Well, how's he gonna spin this one?" It's tough. I can't.
It was a 1-2 eye poke. Bam, bam.
Right in the eyeball.
Dear.
But he was winning the rest of the fight before that.
Well, I think Harrington was the 4 eye, but I'm not talking shit. Well done to Chris Weidman. Got a good win. He was winning the fight. He looked good. Obviously, it was a finish, but it was a 1-2 eye poke, so they kind of overturned it because initially it was a TKO. When I walked in, they announced it as a TKO. Obviously, They reviewed the tape or whatever, so then they've changed it to a decision win. Because they scored round 1, round 2, and then they scored as much of round 3 up until that point happening. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that before, if I'm totally honest. Judging it like that, I agree. Weidman clearly won the fight. Do you know who I feel for?
Who?
Well, not Blindado, who was blinded. That's his nickname, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyone that bet money on Chris Weidman to win by knockout in round 3, they hit that ticket. They're like, fucking come on. And then 2 hours later, they're like, nope, overturned, baby.
Nope. Unanimous decision, actually.
Yeah.
Man, I think I've said this on here before, but I'll say it again. I've trained with Chris and a lot. And still to this day, skill for skill, he's the best fighter I've ever trained with. His jiu-jitsu is he doesn't grapple like a wrestler. He's got he's a really like a legitimate high level black belt jiu-jitsu guy, really great wrestler. He's really hard to hit in practice. He kind of fights and looks a little more like Wonder Boy, to be honest with you. He's hard to get to. He kicks a lot. So I just wish that Weidman would show up. But I don't think even doing the research and breaking down his fights, I've never seen the Weidman that I see in the gym. I've never seen in a fight.
Yeah, that's always the way, though, isn't it? Sadly, Weidman was talking about, obviously, he fractured his leg last time and he had the broken leg, facing his fears. So that's why he went out there and he threw nothing but kicks in the first 2 minutes of that fight. Body kicks, head kicks, leg kicks, you name it. He was testing it out, testing the waters, so to speak. You said that he called you after the fight. Can you share any of that conversation, or is it private stuff?
Yeah. He didn't really. He was really excited, but he also understood. Like, hey, listen, I get it. There were some eye pokes and there was some shit that happened. He was like, but I'm just doing the best I can in the moment. It's not on purpose. I just fought. The way that he reacted, he looked hurt, and I went down for the finish. Like, there's other than not poking him in the eye, there's nothing he can do there. Eye pokes happen. It's part of the sport. I think the bigger conversation is the gloves. And this is the one thing I don't really go against the UFC too much. And that's not because of my job or my position. It's because I just agree with most of the shit, to be honest. But the gloves, we got to do something about the gloves. We got to do something about it's been the same gloves forever with technology and where the world is. And there's too many smart people that work for the UFC to not get that fixed.
Yeah, no, I agree. Something does need to change because.
Well, think about bare knuckle. You almost never see eye pokes in bare knuckle. It almost never happens.
Wow. That's actually a good point.
It's possible. And even in other organizations.
How many bare knuckle events to the amount of UFC events? How many fights on the night? So I think the chance of having more eye pokes in the UFC, of course. But it was a bad one Saturday night. But it is unfortunate. I don't truly believe, because I know people talk about John Jones saying this. I find it goes against everything I think that a fighter is, for somebody to purposely poke somebody in the eye. I mean, I just cannot imagine having that thought process and going, right, do you know what I'm going to do? Rather than land a really good, potentially knockout blow, I'm going to poke them in the eye. Like Chris was throwing them 1-2. For whatever reasons, the fingers were out. They were out a lot. They shouldn't have been, but it wasn't on purpose. There was no way that was a conscious decision where I'm going to go, rather than bang, bang, and knock you out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and even when I fought John, the eye pokes was a big issue leading into the fight. We brought it up to the referee before the fight, but I never once thought that John does it on purpose. It's just the way that he fights. He's checking his distance. He's got these long ass arms. He's trying to do his thing, and you just run into him. But to be fair, when you're in front of John and his hands are out and they're got his fingers in your face, it's a problem because you know you're going to run into one. And so you're like trying to move your head outside of it. Like, I don't think it's on purpose. It's just how he defends forward pressure.
Well, for Chris Saturday night, the fingers were out a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not talking shit because you're in the moment, you're in the middle of the fight. And if that's how you're used to operating in sparring or whatever, that's how you're going to be. The rule is it can't be like that. It's got to be like that. I find that to be an absolutely ridiculous rule, if I'm honest. They've got to change that. How stupid. So the finger can be like that. Can't have it like that for obvious reasons, but it can be like that. It only takes a split second to do that. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If someone's coming in, to do that, that's a stupid rule. The rule should be almost clenched. You don't have to have it clenched tight, but that all the time. None of this shit. This is the dumbest rule ever. And Gary Copeland, the referee, wasn't even really saying anything about that.
Mm-mm. And that creates a problem before the eye poke even happens, because as the opponent, you can see the fingers are pointed at you. So if you want to blitz and come moving forward, you know there's a good chance you're going to get poked in the eye. And to the fighter's defense, when your hands are up like this and you think someone's going to shoot, your hands immediately go down like you're going to defend the takedown. If they don't, they're going to run right into a finger. It's tough. I don't know what the answer is. I think that a good start would be some different gloves that at least curved your hand a little more, because the way the gloves are now, they do kind of force them open. And I remember back in the day, in between UFC stints, I fought in Bellator, and back then Bellator had a different glove than they use now, but it does slightly, or at least that older glove slightly curved your hand just a little bit. And I don't know why that wasn't more broadly picked up by other organizations.
I am listening, and I'm not being disrespectful. I'm looking at Justin Gage's tweet, because Justin Gage tweeted about it. He said, "Too bad UFC don't want to change those shit gloves." And I think they are in the process of working on it, trying to figure out a deal. Too. And yeah, I think they're working on it, but that was a shame. Anyway, stick on the positives. Good performance for Chris Weidman. He got back in the win column. There was a possibility that he was going to retire Saturday night if he didn't get the job done. And, if he had done, I would have said that was the right decision. 39 years old. He's won the belt. He's been to the top of the mountain. He's done incredible things. But you just said he's still performing in the gym. He looked good Saturday night. What do you think is next for Weidman? Do you think he can climb that ladder at middleweight and, I guess, the top guys?
Well, like I said, skill for skill, I don't have any doubt that he can compete with the top guys in the world. The problem with Weidman is it's the same problem you had, I'm sure, at one point. It's the same problem I have. It's just staying healthy long enough to put a run together. You can only beat on these old bodies for so long before, and he's already had a lot of injuries. He's had a lot of surgeries. He's a regular at the orthopedic place. He probably had more surgeries than you and I combined. It's crazy how many surgeries that guy's had.
I'll take that Pepsi challenge, bro.
I mean, it's up there. I don't remember exactly what the
30.
number was.
It was 30.
Yeah, well, maybe not you and I combined then, but either way, that's a shit ton of surgeries, and it just wears on you. He was a high level wrestler. He was an All-American. He fought, and he's been in some wars. He's had catastrophic injuries that he shouldn't have even been able to make it back from.
Yeah.
So I think that's the question. Skill for skill, I think he can compete with everybody in that division up to the very top. But it's just, can he stay healthy enough to put a run together?
Well, I would like to see him get a high-profile matchup next, because, given the pedigree, given the history, given what he's done for the sport, he certainly deserves it. So I'm just looking at
with injuries too. Even if you think about, as you're looking at the rankings, even if you think about just his injuries and him trying to stay healthy, even slow rolling him through the bottom of the rankings is dangerous, because that's just more opportunities to get hurt. That's more training camps. If you can get him a big name halfway up, maybe
even Sean Strickland.
Fuck it.
Sean Strickland, Chris Weidman, the All-American against, here's the thing, guys, American, right? Do it.
That's probably a really good fight.
That's a good fight. That's a good matchup.
Really good fight. Yeah. I didn't think about that.
Chris Weidman, Sean Strickland, let's go.
I'm going to text him out right now.
Oh, he should start calling him out.
Right.
Strickland said last week, if he doesn't get a title shot, he's retiring. He's quitting. He's throwing his toys out the pram. He's spitting out the dummy, and he's going to go box. Anyway, so that was Chris Weidman. Well done to him. Mm-hmm. Talking of weird finishes, who was it? Oh, Andre Petroski.
Yeah, what was
versus
that?
Who did he fight? Andre Petroski versus Jacob Malkoun. Malkoun's having a great fight, using that jab, wobbled him a few times. Petroski lands a few shots, goes for the first shot in terms of takedowns, and falls on the floor, and then a mean body kick. And we were commentating, we're like, what just happened?
Yeah, why'd he go down?
I think he headbutted his hip bone.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I
never done that?
I have. I watched it a couple times and I missed it. I just kept like, what? He shoots and then he fades away out of the view. Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. The hip bone's a big bone. I've done that in training myself, and I'm not a wrestler that shoots him with that kind of force. You know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised. A big bony hip, you hit that hard enough, the fight stands their ground. Yeah. Wild
running
finish.
into a brick wall.
Yeah. Manon Fior got the job done. Beat Erin Blanchfield.
What'd you think?
She looked great. She looked fantastic. I would have liked to have seen Manon be the aggressor as the fight progressed. But to be fair, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. She's clearly winning. Blanchfield never really had an answer. She needed to change up the strategy. She was just trying to run in with not the best punches to try and engage in a clinch scenario, but it wasn't working. So I think that proves she's still got a bit of work to do. Grappling wise, phenomenal. She's really good. World class, but she's got to work on the striking, I think, and just get a better understanding on how to close the distance, cut off the cage, and create those entries. Use a lot of feints, jabs, stuff like that. Didn't see any of that really. Manon Fior, she's next for a title shot, 100%.
Yeah, I would like to see a little bit more out of her. And I don't mean like she doesn't have the skills. I'd like to see her be willing to open up a little more. And maybe take some chances. I think she's going to get a whole lot more love and get that rub a little bit more. If she does take some chances, a little bit more offensive, kind of pushes the action a little bit. She's just, but like you said, she's so good at how she's doing it. Why would you change it?
Yeah, well, like 13-1 or something. She's strong, man, as well, because Blanchfield, anytime she got hold of her, she just threw her off with like total disregard. Like, get off me. What you doing? You trying to take me down?
Manhandles people. I mean, when she grabs these other girls in the division, it's different. So for Manon to just, kind of, for lack of a better term, big boy her, just get off of me.
Careful, do not misgender her.
Big girl her.
Big girl her.
Well, now we're talking about her. She's not that big. Regular size her.
I said this the other day on the broadcast. There were some big girls at the pool in Atlantic City. Tell you that. I was on the treadmill and it was the best, in terms of time, people watching, time killing. Because when you're in a treadmill, it's soul destroying. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the gym had a big, massive glass wall that just looked at the pool. And the pool on Saturday at the Harrah's Casino in Atlantic City, they got a big, huge indoor pool because I'm assuming the weather sucks, right? Yeah. And it's all done up like a Vegas-style pool, but it's indoor. So there's a DJ on. Everyone's partying like crazy, right? And I'm just on the treadmill, just watching it all. It was brilliant. I could have done a marathon on that treadmill. Do you know what I mean? And there were some big old boys and girls, scantily clad, shaking their shimmy. They did not give a shit. I was like, hey, fair play. They got some real body confidence.
Yeah. So Atlantic City's got some big old women. That's what you're saying. Beautiful.
And some big old boys. Big old boys.
Big girls find big boys.
There you go. There was a lot of bigness going on. Why did I bring that up? Oh, because Joaquin Buckley was at the pool. So I went for a massage. No, not for a massage. I went to use the sauna and stuff. And as I was leaving, and I was just paying the woman, she says, so what's going on? There's a bunch of fighters here. So I quickly explained, there's a UFC event. She goes, I think one of the fighters is at the pool right now. I said, no, he's not. He's not. They went, no, I think he is. I said, trust me. The fighters, this is like 3:00 in the afternoon, about 4 actually. I said, the fighters are not at the pool on Saturday. I said, the fighters are not at the pool. She goes, no, I'm pretty sure that's one. I said, no, trust me. That might be like some of the team or whatever. The fighters are not at the pool. Brian, if you can pull it up off Joaquin Buckley's Instagram, because it was on there. He was at the pool. He was putting on a show for the people. He was hitting pads. He was getting all the crowd, everyone in the pool, all revved up. And speaking of Joaquin Buckley, he will be joining the show very shortly. We also have the victorious Nate Landwehr. He will be joining the show as well. Congrats to everyone at Atlantic City. I'm going to ask you this, Anthony. Tell me this. Oh, I've lost it. I've lost it in the bloody thing. Oh, no, I've got it. 6% of Americans think that they could defeat a grizzly bear in a fight. Is that right, Harrington? Do I have 6%? This correct? 6% of people.
Yeah, so they interviewed like I think it was 1,000 Americans, and they gave them a list of different animals, right? So I think it was like 81% think they could beat a goose in a fight. Like 73% say they could beat a rat in a fight, and it goes on down the list. There was a shocking number, believe it was like 9% said they could beat a silverback gorilla.
Hold on a minute. What percent could beat a rat? 73?
It was like 73 or 74. It was less than a goose.
I want to know who the 27% are that say they cannot defeat a rat in a fight. Okay.
That's crazy. We're not talking about Master Splinter here. We're talking about regular ass rats, right?
You just stamp on it.
Yeah.
Just stamp on it. It's a rat. It doesn't know jujitsu.
I can't believe that's not 100%.
It can't overpower you.
Listen,
you run up your neck and maybe nibble on your neck. You just grab it and throw it off.
More people, according to Harrington, were more confident that they could beat a goose than a rat. And I think that should be the other way. You ever seen an angry goose? If you're not a very big person, a goose will you up.
Well, they always say geese, they'll break your arm is what people. That was what people said when we were kids. They'll break your arm. A goose up. I'll be honest.
Yeah, there's not a goose walking the planet right now that would take a round off me.
How are you going to choke out a goose though?
Just grab its head and you just whip it around,
throw it around. So a grizzly bear. Listen, if you're on that 6% list, you're out of your goddamn mind. Okay, a grizzly bear.
We're going to do this again.
Tear your head off. We are going to do this again.
We're going to do this again.
What are we going to do?
Who wins in a fight? A grizzly bear or a silverback gorilla?
Well,
8% of people think they can beat a silverback gorilla, by the way. So,
for crying out loud. All right, today's episode is sponsored by 8 Sleep, which is the mattress cover that will change your life. Listen, we love 8 Sleep in this house. Rebecca never stops going on about it. Obviously, it's a mattress cover. You can control the temperature of the bed. One side goes as low as 55 degrees. The other side goes as high as 110 degrees. So you get the perfect temperature. You ain't going to be tossing and turning. And it adjusts the sleep temperature throughout the night. The body needs to cool down in the night and then gradually get warmer as you wake. The algorithm or the program, the software, that takes care of all of that stuff. Also, there's an app that lets you track all of your sleep. You can see how much REM, how much deep sleep. It even tracks your heart rate whilst you're asleep. So there's a lot of science there, and Rebecca is studying that stuff constantly and driving me up the wall. I'm joking, of course. I love this thing, and it's having me sleep like a baby. I have never, ever slept better. As I said, the cover just slips over your mattress. You can automatically adjust the bed temperature based on your individual needs. The cover is fitted like any sheet, and it allows you and your partner to be as warm or as cool as you like. So, as I said, it's a great thing. You're going to sleep better. It's going to eliminate those silly arguments that you have. In addition to keeping you at the perfect temperature all night, as I say, it tracks your sleep and your health metrics. And on average, pod users see their sleep quality improve by 32% after just 1 month on the pod. So you're going to love this. It's a tremendous product. I really stand by this. And there is no better way to improve your day than better sleep. And the easiest way to do that is with the 8 Sleeps Pod 3. Start the new year right and invest in the rest that you deserve with the 8 Sleep Pod cover. Right now, go to 8sleep.com/Bisping. You're going to get $200 off and free shipping. So it's a very, very sizable reduction. 8sleep.com/Bisping to get $200 off and free shipping. 8 Sleep, you're going to love this. Check this out. This is a good segue. George St. Pierre, probably the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, shit his pants when he was confronted or he was faced with a live gorilla in Rwanda, in the wild. He was absolutely terrified. He was talking on a podcast recently. Harrington, just give us the quick quote, please, buddy. What did he say?
He said, I actually got chased by a silverback gorilla. I was in Rwanda. I did gorilla trekking, and we had a guide with us. He followed the same family of gorillas every day, and he told us the rules. If a gorilla looks at you, a silverback, don't look at him. Don't eat in front of him. Don't take flash photography. And if he comes towards you, don't run away. Just get out of the way and make yourself in a submissive pose. And that's what happened. He looked at me. He went toward me. I got out of the way. I put my knees on the floor like this, and I was like, please, please. when you see a gorilla on TV and when you see one live, it's very different. I could see his muscle definition through his fur.
I can see the muscle definition, and it's to do the fur and the silverback. You got to do it in the accent, Harrington.
He looked under his arm, and the guy give me the hand to kind of rescue me, but it was just a test. He tell me the reason why the gorilla turned his back to me, it was because he wanted to show me how much of not a threat I am to him. I am going to give you my most vulnerable position and show you that you can do nothing. It's very, very smart.
That's actually a pretty good GSP. Now, piss off, because the first time you came at us, you looked like you were in prison. That time when you came to his house, and you looked like you were coming from the red light district in Amsterdam. Okay. I don't want to have you back on next time. I don't know what that's going to be. You're going to be naked. Shows the back to say, hey, I don't give a shit. That is gangster.
If he shows that back, I'm going to take it.
Are you going to take it? You take the back of a silverback?
Okay, so this is funny. I have this ongoing thing with me and my group of friends where I think like elk are pretty big animals. And I've always said, if I could get the back of a wild, like Colorado elk, I think I could put it out. I think.
No way. No
I
way.
think I could. I think
no,
so.
you couldn't. No, you couldn't. And you definitely couldn't choke out a silverback gorilla.
I mean, if you...
Yeah,
if
okay,
you,
97 or 98% human, similar structure. They have necks and heads, all kind of the same kind of build. The amount of muscle, no way. And it would just raw you off.
See, look,
and look at that.
Okay,
look,
probably
trying
not,
to choke
probably,
out one of those elks, you would not be able to provide enough pressure for that to even give a shit.
I don't think I couldn't get on its back. But if we could get it to sit down and let me climb up there, get this body triangle around the bottom part of his neck, I could get right up under the jaw, lock that motherfucker in. I think I could put him out.
I think you're out of your mind. There's no way. There's no way. I'm sorry. You know, I get it. You've got.
I need the believers to like.
You're in fight mode. This. I get it. You're in fight mode. No,
this is ongoing for years. This thing going on.
Choke out a gorilla. Right? No man alive.
Definitely not a gorilla. An elk for sure. I'll put I could put an elk out. I'm telling you.
What's the toughest animal that you could take? I tell you what, I had this conversation.
This is a small female you could probably take.
Yeah, see, I'll fuck that thing up.
Yeah, Anthony Smith choking out female elks because he can't take out a male.
That's the That's the headline tomorrow.
You couldn't even take a German Shepherd.
What?
A German, I'm telling you, because when I was a kid, I had a conversation with this.
I would rather fight an elk, to be fair.
A German Shepherd, an attack-trained German Shepherd, rabid with rabies, hungry, hasn't eaten in days.
Why do you gotta have rabies?
I don't know, just to make it better. He's just wild. Because I was arguing with this person. I'm like, listen, all you got to do is grab the 2 foot legs and pull it apart, rip the heart apart. That's an old bullshit, old wives' tale, right? That wouldn't work. He's like, you are out of your mind. It'd get to your throat in no time.
Mm-hmm. I had a personal protection Malinois for a while. And that thing he was much smaller than a German Shepherd, similar breed, but he was every bit of, 60 pounds. And he was an absolute monster. Like the guys would put on those big ass bite suits and he would ragdoll 300-pound men. It was crazy.
Belgian Malinois. Yeah, it's a pretty big dog. You couldn't beat a silverback. I'll give you.
I'm still going. I'm telling you, I'm still going to 10-8 this goose. The next goose I see, it's going to be a 10-8 round.
I'll give you a silly goose. You can do a silly goose. What's the most masculine animal I think Anthony Smith could choke out? Probably.
Definitely.
Not even a chimpanzee. Forget about a silverback. A chimpanzee will.
Well, Bryce Mitchell like killed a deer with his bare hands, so it's got to be at least a white-tailed deer.
Yeah, but that's a little Bambi.
No,
There's not a bird that'll stand up to Anthony Smith.
Dude, I don't know. Them ostrich. One time, I was at the zoo with my family, and there was a male ostrich and a female ostrich, and this male ostrich was doing dirty things to this female one, and it was violent and scary.
Could you take a cassowary? Do you know what that is?
I have no idea what that is.
That's the biggest, most dangerous bird on the planet, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that with the big ass huge beaks?
They're giant. Oh, no. What is that called? No, it's not.
Yeah, those things are creepy.
Those things, with the massive bills. You're right.
Well, see, I feel
What
like
are those big birds, Brian? They got the big, weird, crazy birds. They look like dinosaurs. I know birds are descended from dinosaurs, of course, but this thing, you see it in
Those big,
Africa.
they clack their bills, right?
yeah.
They're cold and they're gigantic.
They're fucking huge. They're huge.
Yeah, no, that is not it, Harrington. That is not it. Anyway, whatever. We don't care. They're massive. They're big birds.
I love these conversations.
Yeah, no, I know you do. We've got 20 minutes to kill.
Right in its face.
What's that? Oh, yeah, go back. Show me that again. I was looking at the notes.
Yeah, I'll punch that thing right in its face.
That's disgusting. Do you reckon you could take one of them?
I don't know. You have to throw a bunch of head kicks so you didn't get too close.
They're about 5 foot tall as well, I think. They're big. They're gigantic.
Yeah.
I would be.
Birds like that shouldn't exist. My wife hates birds.
Damn terrified. I'm just trying to think. Is there any other notable things on Saturday? We've got Buckley joining us shortly. We've got Nate Landwehr.
Yeah, I think those four are probably Nate, Buckley, Weidman, and then the main event. I think those are kind of the four bigger storylines that came out of it.
So they announced UFC 302, which is going to be in New Jersey. You're fighting at UFC 301. Is there still any word, Anthony, that you know of a main event for 301?
No, I think they're really waiting on Pereira because he's being very serious about turning around quickly. So I think they're waiting on that, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we had Jamall on Thursday.
What did he say? I know, I didn't watch it.
Oh, jeez.
How's he? Is he out of that, like when Jamall's getting ready to fight, like when he's not in training camp, he's like super lackadaisical, like, yeah, whatever. But when he's in camp, he's super intense.
Yeah, he was kind of chill to start. He was short with the answers, but then he warmed up as we went along. He ripped the top off. He gave us a little lowdown of what he was looking like. I'll be honest, I was expecting a little more, but he said, look at this, he's big. He did look big. The belly was still there, but I guess he never looks like a...
Yeah, he's not a six-pack guy.
He's not a six-pack guy. Are you going to be a six-pack guy by UFC 300, Anthony?
I am. I think so. I'm excited about it too. I get real self-conscious about it, Mike.
Right. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I just as I'm getting older, I think my metabolism is slowing down and I just put on weight faster and it all goes to my belly and it pisses me off. And so I'm starting to see I'm leaning out, and I look in the mirror in the morning. I'm like, all right, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I've got my first ever lead role in an acting in a film coming up this summer.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about
What's
that.
the movie?
I can't say yet. You know what I mean? The contracts are just finalized.
I know. I was trying to trick you.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's a really good script. But of course, I got to have my shirt off a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've got loads of time. I was like, March, April. And then I was like, no, we're in April, May, June, July. I'm like, that's 4 months. And I'm like, well, why don't I just start now? Do you know what I mean? So I can gradually get it down. So
you can ease
I'm on a
into
diet. Operation Slim Down has begun.
Yeah, it bothers me when I'm like, if it's a little heavier in the summer and I'm like at the pool or something, like, no, we gotta do something about this.
All right, Harrington, show yourself, please, my friend. What's he going to look like this time? Oh, he's in a different room again.
Why do you keep moving rooms?
Do we have sound?
Do we?
We do
now.
All right, there we go.
Why are you keep moving around?
Bunch of reasons.
Give us the biggest MMA story right now that we should give our focus to.
Okay. During the UFC Atlantic City broadcast, they announced that UFC 302 is going to be in Newark. A couple fights were announced for that card, including Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez, your boy Basil Hoppes fighting my boy Mickey Gall. But the rumor at the top of the card is that it's going to be Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. Nothing confirmed.
Really?
Strong rumor going around the internet.
Where did that rumor come from? Did Ali Abdelaziz?
A bunch of different places, but most people are banking on the fact that Islam said that he plans on making his return at the very beginning of June, and this fight does take place on June 1st.
Yeah, and then June 8th, obviously, is UFC Saudi Arabia, Khamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker. I'm surprised that they didn't have Islam on there, but June 1st, he wants to make a quick turnaround. I'd said it at the time. Justin Gagey said that I had CTE and said that I'm talking bollocks on Twitter. If this comes true, I'm not saying I'm going to revel. I'm just going to say, I was just saying it made all the sense in the world at that time because Gagey is fighting Max Holloway. If that is true, and it's a rumor, nothing is confirmed, I think it does make sense right now because Gagey's fighting Holloway. We don't know how that's going to go. Poirier, I think over that last win, he's always been a fan favorite, but he reminded the world of what a bad motherfucker he is. And I would love to see that fight.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Gaethje took the Holloway fight to begin with because he's always, or not always, but recently, he's always talking about, I want to fight forward. I want the title. I'm not doing anything else. I want the title. With Islam having no matchup right now and not had one for a while, him coming off the knockout of Dustin Poirier, you kind of think like if he didn't have this matchup right now, he'd be matched up with Islam.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree with that logic.
But
I guess
I bet the paycheck is probably nice. The opportunity to fight on UFC 300 is big. Being able to have the opportunity to have a scalp like Max Holloway's on your mantle per se is a big deal. So maybe he just thinks I'll go in there, I'll beat Max Holloway, and then I'll still fight for the title anyways. That's kind of the route that Dustin Poirier took. Like instead of going for the title fight, he chose to fight Conor. Like got to kind of weigh the opportunities there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you can slice it up many, many different ways. I mean, the reality is he's fighting Max Holloway next week.
Yeah, he could. I mean, maybe goes in and smokes him and they give him a title shot.
So maybe, I mean, what is that? April 13th, 20th, 27th, 2.5 weeks, May, still 7-8 weeks. It's still about 7-8 weeks. You never know. It could be just engaging. Maybe they're waiting. Maybe they're waiting to see what happens because it's only next week. We haven't talked about that fight, Max Holloway and Justin Gagey. Obviously, I think a lot of people are dismissing the threat of Max Holloway in that fight just because Gagey's been so effective. The knockout of Poirier, the way he beat Fiziev, being the bigger guy. But what do you think about that fight, Holloway and Gagey?
Well, I mean, if you look at common opponents, I didn't necessarily like Max Holloway at 155. And it's not that he can't be successful at 155. It's the current class of guys that are at the top right now that are the problem. Max Holloway's not a power puncher. He's just not. He's a volume guy. It's death by 1,000 cuts, but
paper cuts.
No, big cuts.
Max Holloway has punches to the equivalent of a paper cut.
Yeah, that is
a nasty thing to say, Anthony.
I know, God damn it. I just don't know that he possesses the power to back off the heavy boxers that are at the top of that division. We kind of seen it with Dustin Poirier. Poirier kind of waded through the punches and just unloaded on him. And to Max's credit, he's got an incredible chin and he's stuck in there the whole time. But Dustin Poirier and Gaethje are similar fighters. They're opposite stances, but they're heavy-handed boxers that have really great leg kicks with good wrestling. They're very, very similar to each other. So if we I think that those two guys are very competitive with each other, and Max Holloway wasn't very competitive with Dustin Poirier. Will it be different? I don't know, but I don't know that he's got the power to back off Justin Gaethje. If you don't show some sort of threat that you can hurt him, put him out, take him down, something, I don't know how you get Justin Gaethje to take a backward step.
Correct. I agree with everything that you said. But as we always know, right, we always speak about people. Like I had a reputation. People called me pillow hands for a long time. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I can definitely bloody crack. I know for a fact, but people used to call me pillow hands. And I'm sure people had that assumption. Don't tell me Max Holloway, if he stands his ground and swings hard, we know he can deliver a decent punch. Sure. Has he got the power of a Justin Gaethje? Probably not. Has he got the more power than the average man in the street? 100%. And I think when you look at Max Holloway, I think size-wise, there's nothing in it. I think you're splitting hairs. They're similar height. They've got similar reaches. Max is maybe a bit faster, might even be more technical on the feet. And
better cardio.
Maybe better cardio. Hasn't got to cut to 145. Hasn't got to really cut much at 155. So
I think
Of
it comes
course,
down to approach. I think it comes down to approach. Like,
Yeah, if
I'm not
he's-
saying he can't knock anybody out. That's just not his style. And I think that was kind of your, like, I think you were a volume heavy, really like long combination striker. It's hard to sit down and try to knock everyone out with every single one of those punches when you're trying to be fast, slip a punch, move, hit an angle with your feet. That's just how Max's style is. So if he starts to fight in a way where he wants to try to hurt people, I don't think he's as good. I think his best qualities are the way that he fights normally. I just think that every once in a while you got to sit down on one of those some bitches and back someone off. And if he doesn't do that, it'd be tough.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Because like with my style, I started off being a power puncher, and then when I got to the UFC, I mean, all my stoppages pre-UFC were in the first round. First few in the UFC were first round, I think, as well. Then I started getting taken down of wrestlers and held down. Rashad Evans was my first loss, and then subconsciously I developed this style where I was so light on my feet and moving around because the threat of the takedown kind of dominated my thoughts, because I thought I'm good enough to compete on my fucking feet. I just don't want to get taken down by NCAA Division I All-Star wrestlers.
These goddamn pussies.
Pricks that don't want to fight. Speaking of which, I saw Tim Kennedy doing a little post today. He was talking. I saw him on Instagram. I woke up this morning. I'm having my coffee. I'm scrolling Instagram and I see Tim Kennedy sitting there basically saying what a badass he is. Okay, nothing new there. Saying, I had fights and people were like, what is wrong with you? Because I'd be about to walk out for my fight and I'd be saying, what are we doing for dinner afterwards? Are we going to go for sushi? And my coaches were like, oh, dude, can you just focus on the fight? Never mind that. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've fought in wars. I've been through bloodbaths. This is nothing to me. I went out there and had a 5-round with Michael Bisping, beat the living daylights out of him. Then afterwards, I was like, where are we going? And I hope we go somewhere with like real wasabi. I'm like, number one, didn't beat the brakes off me. It was a very close fight. I just had 2 years on the sidelines because I detached my retina. Was told by the doctors, get my heart rate up, and then took a fight 6 weeks later when I got cleared. And it was a close fight and you held me down, you fat piece of shit. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, oh, my heart rate's already down to 55 BPM. Bro, we know, we get it. You're a badass. You were in the military. Woo!
I seen this thing. I didn't see that part of it, but I did see him talking about why he retired, essentially, was the fight with Yoel. And there was this, every time I see Tim Kennedy talk about anything that has to do with MMA, he's always a Michael Bisping dig in there somewhere. Something that has nothing to do with you. It always he'll just dig that in there. He said, well, yeah, so I was fighting Yoel Romero, and the winner of this is going to get a title shot. My last win, I had just beat the brakes off of Michael Bisping. So and he's got the title now. And I was like, what? What does that have to do with it? Why does that have to do with the story? I don't get it.
Yeah, no. Hey, fair play to him. Fair play to him. He beat me fair and square. What were we saying now? We were talking about Max Holloway. Was it Max Holloway?
Yeah, I think you were. Yeah.
You never know. He might have an approach, a game plan, a strategy.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying he can't win either. I don't want to be out there. He might go in there.
I think it'll be an entertaining fight. I do favor Gagey for obvious reasons, but I think it would be a good one. I'm not sure if Gagey could choke out an elk, though. Really.
Not with those lightweight arms.
It's a little bit slim on MMA news this week, but Jack Della Maddalena did say that he had a broken arm. Not only did he have a broken arm, but he had a staph infection in his knee when he knocked out Gilbert Burns. I did not see that he had a broken arm. Harrington, what are you talking about? Are you talking mid-fight he broke his arm?
Yeah, he broke his arm early in that fight. His manager actually released that X-ray. Look at that. That's a pretty clean break. So yeah, that was early in the fight. He battled through that to get the 3rd round finish there.
I do believe that's the ulnar.
Oh,
the ulnar.
Ulnar. Radius.
I think the radius is the inside one.
So that's the ulnar.
Yeah, you're right.
You got to specify, Harrington. He broke his ulnar.
Broke his ulnar.
All right, I'll
give me the 3 bones in the leg, Anthony.
Fibia, tibia. What's the
biggest one in the whole body?
Oh, femur.
Big old boy.
Yeah, I was thinking lower leg. I was like, shit, I think there's only 2.
We have a few minutes until Joaquin Buckley jumps on. What else have we got, Harrington, real quick?
So Jack also in that same interview where he was talking about having the staph infection behind his knee, he said that the idea is he definitely wants to fight at UFC 305 in Perth, Australia. And he said that obviously his first choice for that fight is Shavkat. He says it makes a very clear number one contender. He said in the event, though, that Shavkat it can't get healthy. He said he's heard rumors that Shavkat is currently injured and he's on the mend doing rehab, whatever the case may be. He said he'd welcome a return to the welterweight division for Kamaru Usman on that card. I don't know what you think about that.
I tell you what, Jack Della Maddalena, he's got some balls, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Balls on this guy.
Look at the balls on Brad. Number one, I don't know if he's going to make it to August. Of course, he's from Perth. He wants to fight there in August. If he's got a broken tibia, that's going to need surgery probably. I don't know what the recovery is on that. 3-4 months, I would have said.
Yeah, that probably needs surgery.
Yeah, so I wouldn't rush it. Harrington, yes.
He did. He's already had the surgery on it. He had surgery on it like pretty much right after he said it.
Sure.
Yeah, he said it was 8 weeks he was going to be out, but it would still leave him with like 12 weeks to train for that card. So he's expecting to be there.
Yeah, I just wouldn't rush. Don't interrupt and just to ridicule and undermine me, Harrington. I'm aware he would have had surgery the next day, okay? And I know how long a broken arm takes to recover, but I'm saying you don't want to rush back. You don't want to rush back just because it's in your hometown. But Shavkat Rakhmonov calling him out and then calling out Kamaru Usman. What do you think Kamaru's going to do? Do you think he'll stick it middleweight? Or 170.
I hope he stays in middleweight. I hope he stays in middleweight because it's kind of a fresh coat of paint. You know, it's all new matchups, it's new people, it's new narratives and new storylines. I like it. I like him. And I mean, fuck, he might have fought the toughest middleweight there is right now already and kept it pretty close.
Really short notice.
Coming off the couch. So I mean,
what was the notice? Like a week, 10 days?
It's like 10 days. 10 days in Abu Dhabi, if I remember right.
Abu Dhabi.
So I mean, he got there's a lot of that with travel. So I mean, he might have fought the best middleweight in the world on short notice and did really well. So I mean, I'd like to see him with some notice and a training camp and a big name and see what happens at 185.
Masvidal did the exact same thing to him. Came off the couch, flew to Abu Dhabi, and had a good showing against Kamaru. You know, had 5 rounds. Kamaru Usman versus Sean Strickland. That also would be a good one at 185.
Poor Strong. Bro, what are you trying to do to Strickland? Leave this man alone.
No. It just
wants to fight. He wants to fight Duplessis. We already gave Strickland to Weidman.
Yeah, I know, but Weidman might not take that. But Usman, that's a big name.
Yeah, that's a rematch, isn't it?
Or do you think Strickland's just going to wait and let Izzy and Dricus fight and expect to get a title fight? Because we've seen how that plays out.
I was going to say, I don't like that. I don't like that. No. That doesn't ever work out because you're going to get left behind. Because if you wait and then someone else has some great, because we can't forget, we got Whitaker and Hamzat fighting. So if you wait and then Whitaker and Hamzat fight and someone comes out of that looking like a superstar, then you're definitely getting pushed to the back of the line. You're going to wait all that time and still have to fight anyways.
Well, if Hamzat beats Robert Whitaker, it has to be a title fight next. What would that be? 8 or 9 in a row, beating the former GOAT or pound-for-pound great in Kamaru Usman, beating everybody other than Gilbert Burns and Kamaru really quickly, extremely dominant. 8 wins in a row, I think that would be. If he beats Robert Whitaker, he's getting a title fight. Simple as that. Now, the only
if you're Strickland, do you wait? You can't risk hanging out and not at least getting a win because now right now, regardless how he feels about it, it's a loss. You're coming off a loss. So you have no argument over anybody in the top 5 or top 8 that are coming off of a win. That's going to put them ahead of you. So you got to get back in there and get a win.
Yeah, but his kind of point is, well, other people have had immediate rematches or immediate title fights. When you lose a title, generally, you kind of got to rebuild yourself again. You know, you have to have some wins to get another title fight. All right, we're going to talk about Mando deodorants, and Mando is from the makers of Lumi deodorant. Now, Mando is clinically proven to control the odors that you create naturally. We all do it. We all make body odor. Some of us suffer from it more than others. Some of us don't really have an issue. Some people absolutely stink. Well, guess what? Now you can block your body from even creating those smells for 72 hours. So make the switch to Mando whole body odorant and make the change and smell like a 0. On a 1 to 10 basis, most people have like a 7 or 8 when it comes to the body odor. With the test that they did, with the Mando whole body deodorant, people were smelling a 0 because it stops the body from actually making the smells in the first place. It was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and treated, clinically proven by doctors to block odor all day and then control it for up to 72 hours. Now, a lot of other deodorants, they just mask the smell with a fragrance, okay? So you still end up kind of stinky, but you're smelling kind of sweet at the same time, which is just weird. It's baking soda free. It's paraben free. It's pH balanced, so it's actually safe to use below the belt if you want to do that. And it is clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average men's grundle odor was a 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average grundle odor level is a 0 out of 10. So there it is. What more do you want? Well, you want the code. Go to shopmando.com. Use the code Bisping. You will get $5 off the starter pack. That works out to over 40% off. Shopmando.com. The code is Bisping for $5 off the starter pack, which works out to over 40% off. Shopmando.com. And the code is Bisping. We got Joaquin Buckley. How you doing, brother?
What's up, fam? What's the word? What's the word?
Well,
How we doing?
I want you to tell me the word, okay? Because I saw your little Instagram post. For anybody that hasn't seen it, right? And I think you're messing with us all. You're like, backstage, I saw James Krause. He gave Vicente Luque a ticket, and he said, you did a good job.
I mean, well, you obviously already know, man, it's a little April Fool's thing, bro. A little jokey joke. Y'all know how I am. But I thought I'd just play on the crowd, play with the fans, bro, because everybody that's been talking about this fight, you know, instead of talking about, you know, what I did to Vicente by breaking him down, beating him, and making him quit, they want to talk about, you know, the fight was rigged and it was thrown and all this other shit. So I thought I'd play with some folks. You understand?
I love the commitment to still taking jabs at James Krause.
Yeah. Got to. I mean, he kind of popped up. He kind of popped up back out of nowhere. They had like a little Facebook post or a little, you know, something that he had brought out, speaking out, you know, since this whole little incident had happened. So I said, might as well, you know. Shit, I don't forget.
You don't like James Krause? You guys not get along?
It's not the point that I don't like anybody, but you know, I just don't forget, you know.
Okay. Anyway, never mind that. Never mind. You got. I forgot it was April Fool's as well, Anthony. We'll talk about that when we're done with Joaquin. So Vicente Luque, biggest fight of your career, biggest win by far, fantastic stoppage. I think it was very foolish of him to pull guard the way that he did. I thought you looked tremendous though, Joaquin. I've said this to you many times, man. You have all the ability in the world. You got bags and bags and bags of potential. But just give me your general thoughts on the fight now that the dust has settled a bit.
Well, the thing about it is that I knew that Vicente taking this fight, you know, was a big deal because at the end of the day, I wasn't a ranked opponent. I wasn't somebody that was on the, you know, welterweight radar at the point. So for Vicente, I knew that he knew this was a very dangerous fight, especially with the stylistic styles that matched up. But with him taking it, I'm already knowing that, you know, that he was confident enough to do what he needed to do against me, right? That he felt like he could beat me if he signed this fight. When he lost to Jeff Neal, man, y'all already know the condition that he was in. He had that brain bleed, right? I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like I really kind of felt bad, you know, leading up to it. I really wanted to kind of show that man some mercy, you know, going into that cage. And I was actually looking to try to get my first little submission, you hear me? I was gonna try to go down there, you know, take him down and get him out because, you know, even though Vicente is a black belt, he gives up his back a lot. And a lot of people don't know that, you know, my jiu-jitsu is really good. I only show it in training, I only show it in the gym. Haven't really gotten a chance to highlight that. But, you know, I was going to try to show that man some mercy by not trying to put so many bad boxing combinations on him and striking on him. And I was going to try to take him down and submit Vicente and get him out of there. But, you know, unfortunately, his coach gave me a little bit more motivation to go out there and put his lights out, you know. So now you know, I'm coming for all kill clips.
What did the coach say? How did he motivate?
It ain't what he said, it's what he did.
What did he do?
So, you know, funny enough, so when we was out there at the hotel, you know, where, you know, all the fighters are, I wanted to go check my weight to make sure, you know, we was good on the official weigh-ins. And Henry Hoops was downstairs by himself. It wasn't around Vicente, the rest of the team. It was just him. So we ended up crossing paths. Now, when we first met each other, it was all love and respect. He like, hey, man, good luck. Both you warriors, whoop, you know what I mean? Put on a good fight, so just the regular norm. But this time, a day before the fight, going into tomorrow, he looks at us and he does this.
Oh.
Right? And he continues to walk away and don't say nothing. And that twitched my whole mentality. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm finna put your boy down now, right? Because essentially he telling me like, yeah, we're gonna knock you out tomorrow.
That's crazy.
That's how I read that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Before I move on, I got a bunch of other things I want to talk to you about, but I feel like you've done a pretty good job since the fight of highlighting, maybe not even Vicente like the person, but the position that he holds in the UFC as far as being a ranked guy, giving a guy an opportunity to come up. And I think that's something that I've always done. Like, I'll fight anybody. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I don't really care about the numbers, but I don't think that's how a lot of people in the rankings are. I think that's a big deal to give someone an opportunity to move up instead of kind of just fighting other ranked people, and that kind of holds everyone else out.
Yeah. I mean, well, it all depends. I feel like a lot of guys that's been in the ranking, right? If you only been able to do so much with your career, then you ain't got no other choice but to, try to give another guy another chance, But if you already steamrolling through guys in the ranking and you pursuing and you moving up the ladder, then obviously you should continue to fight ranked guys. But there's some guys that's in the ranking, that's been in the ranking that, that shouldn't be there, in my personal opinion. And sometimes, the UFC lets them stay up there so they can, promote a guy that they want to be in the rankings later on. And that's just my opinion about that. But you're right, though, but if you're a real fighter, you know what I'm saying, and you really want to make them checks, then you should fight whoever, no matter who it is.
Who are those guys that don't deserve the ranking? Come on, Joaquin. Don't hold back. You said it. You said there's people that don't deserve the ranking.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, though. Hold on. Before we even get there, though, I ain't gonna lie, though. You was right. I should have called this punk ass out when I was out there. You was so right, Bisping.
I was trying to get you to call a name out. I'm trying to make viral moments. I'm trying to get you to maximize your moments.
No. But you got to understand, I'm the viral king. I know how to go viral. But this time, I ain't gonna lie. You got me on this one. You definitely got me on this one. Because as much as I want to work with Anheuser-Busch, them being from St. Louis, I think it's going to be a minute before I get a comment back or a response back. But yeah, that promo video of me, the Kill Cliff Killer, me talking to you right there after knocking out Vicente Luque would have went crazy. So definitely dropped the bag on that one. I ain't even gonna lie. But just back on the response though, like Fiesta, is he still ranked?
I don't know.
Let's look at the rankings.
I've got them in front of me right now. Chiesa is ranked number 15. I would assume, though, because Luke is number 11.
Get him out of there. Hey, this ain't like a disrespect the thing. Like I'm not disrespecting these guys, right? I like these guys, but the guys that don't need to be in the ranking, I'm going to give it to you. So who else up there? Neil Magny?
I think Neil's like
12. Get him out of 12.
He said,
he's gone. He's gone. Who else we got? Right, no, hold on. I'll go through like the top ones and you say in or out, right? So Chiesa, get him out of here. He's a bum. Kevin Holland, what are we saying about Kev?
Did he lose to somebody that was ranked?
He just lost to Jack Della, who did Michael Venom Page.
Yeah, MVP.
Was he ranked? Was Michael Venom Page ranked?
No.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, he's a bum. He's a bum. Michael Page, he's now ranked at number 13.
Hey, he deserves it.
He's in. Neil Magny's 12.
Out of here. We've been talking about
He's
that.
A bum. Who else we got? Vicente Luque's 11. He's gone. Stephen
I got it. Whoa. What you mean Vicente 11? I need to be there.
Yeah, well, you're going to be there.
That's tomorrow.
That's your spot, Jamall. And then at number 10 is Jeff Neal, and 9, Wonderboy Thompson.
That's good. I think the rest of the ranks is good right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
10 to 15 is fucked.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Not for me. If I'm you, that sounds like fun.
To be honest with you, all those, I mean, I can't, because for me as a fighter, it doesn't matter who that guy is. And when I say it don't matter, I really mean that. A lot of other guys, they be saying that, but they be like, okay, yeah, let me skip over that guy though. Each one of these guys that's in the ranking can get that work, right?
Mm.
I really feel like, whoever wants to promote the fight and put up the biggest fight to help make it a main event and make it a 5-rounder, that's the person that I will value the most. But other than that, anybody can catch that work. Truthfully. And that should be shown throughout my career as a fighter. Having 12 fights, right? Having 6 finishes within the division and now having 8 wins. Like, bro, we turning up the game right now.
Yeah, no, and you're getting better and better. That was a really mature performance on Saturday. It really was. You should be proud of yourself. You're doing big things. I think, getting those top 5 fights could be in your future. I really do feel like that, and I'm sure you do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a bit about your background, Joaquin? Growing up, what was life like? Where did Joaquin Buckley? I mean, we know you as the fighter today, but what was life like for you as a child?
Life was simple. Life wasn't crazy. Had my mom, single mom who raised me up. Everywhere she went. I was her shadow. She showed me how to hustle, how to grind, when you don't have much and you use the resources around you. But I lost her at a young age as well, when I was around 12, 11 years old, going to the middle school. So then I had my grandmother and my grandpa, Elmer Harris. And, they raised me up, to be a young, respectable kid. And, even though school was a little difficult for me, I always, made sure to keep working as hard as I can and stay committed, right? And made sure I had to do what I had to do in order to graduate high school. But after I said, I got done with that, I said, forget that, man. I'm going to go ahead and hunt for this dream, man, to be a mixed martial artist, something that I always watched when I was a young kid, watching mixed martial arts movies and all this other stuff. And I was like, yeah, I want to make this a dream come true. And then, when I turned 18, I actually had like 8 amateur fights, and I went pro right after that, like in a year. So I turned pro when I was 19, 20 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Just a little short story.
That's fast. Yeah, that's super
quick
fast.
Story.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you? Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Before we get off it, Joaquin, thank you for sharing that with us, and I'm sure that was a terrible time when your mother passed away at such a young age. I can only imagine what that does to a young man. That must have been just an awful dark time for you.
Yeah. It was. Losing my mom, like I said, I was so close to her at the time that was the person that anything I had going on, any issues, any problems, that's the person I ran to literally, right? But losing my mom, I had to learn this overall, like in time. But losing my mom, it kind of made me grow up faster, right? It had to make me more independent, be more of a man for myself, because I didn't have a father around. I didn't have a father figure necessarily around me full time. So I really had to, do things on my own and really learn how to be by myself at a young age. So it's not hard for me, when I'm like now as a grown man, as an adult, being able to go from place to place and be on my own and do what I need to do and really lock in, because I've been doing it since I've been a young kid.
That could have been really easy to go the opposite direction, though. You know what I mean? Like people have catastrophic losses in their life, and sometimes it tears those kind of people down. And it seems like you used it as kind of motivation and fuel.
Yeah. I guess my mom kind of not saying prepared me for her, being gone, but she said, I'm not gonna be here forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
She used to tell me that all the time. I'm not gonna be here forever. So I need you to do these things when I'm not here, and realize that, whatever that you do, right, there'll be consequences for those actions. And I've always lived by those, by her words,
Well, I'm sure that I'm not a religious man, so I can't sound like a hypocrite, but I'm sure if religion is true, she's up there and she's extremely goddamn proud. And I'm sure if she was alive today, she would be extremely proud of you. Joaquin.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mike. But even though myself, I'm not religious at all. I don't follow a Bible. I don't follow, certain doctrines and stuff like that. But I am a spiritual individual. I do believe that there's a higher power. I think there's something that created us, right? That's bigger than us. So, at the end of the day, even though you're not a religious person, as long as you're spiritual and you believe in something, at the end of the day, I think you good.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still undecided on all of that stuff, if I'm totally honest. But let's get to something a little bit more lighthearted. I hope Brian's going to edit this in post. I was saying before, Saturday, I went to the spa. I had a little sauna and stuff before I went and commentated. And the woman was saying, one of the fighters is by the pool. And I was arguing, saying, no, none of the fighters are. Well, I wasn't arguing. I was just politely disagreeing. I'm like, no, none of the fighters are going to be at the pool. Okay. They're focusing, they're locking in, right? And then I see it on social media. You're at the pool, putting on a show, having a whale of a time.
Yeah. I mean, we just knew what we was capable of doing, and we knew exactly what we was going to do. See, me, like, a lot of fighters, man, they get nervous. They be having anxiety. They be, like, stressing about the night that they about to fight. But that's the exciting part. Like, that's the reward for all the work that we put in for months and months and months. This the reward to, like, actually show people, okay, hey, this is what I'm going to do to this guy, and I want you guys to come out and watch the show. So that was just a little promotion that I did, right before the fight, 4 hours before the fight,
How long were you out there?
I was out there for a short time. We just, got a workout in. That was it. Just a little shakeout. Nice. So I say about little 45 to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour.
I saw you hitting pads, but then I saw another bit where everyone in the crowd and you were like giving it, getting everybody.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right,
girls
man.
out there twerking, you know what I'm saying? Throwing that thing back.
I was telling Anthony, there was some big old scantily clad people out there shaking their asses. I was on the treadmill. I could stay there.
I think I seen your post about it too. You seen some whales out there, but hey, big girls need love too. Big girls need love too, dog.
Of course. Hey, I love a big girl. Come on, man. Let's go.
You good? Or you want me to go? I got to ask this question. And it might be, and we're having fun, and maybe I'm going to pull this back to some more serious shit, and I don't mean to do that. But as you know, I'm good friends with Brian, right? So me and Brian talk all the time, just regular chit chat. And he brought up Brian Butler, his manager.
Yeah.
So, he's always told me that. So I look at you differently. Like, I see a super dangerous guy. I see someone that could beat anybody in the division. He's getting better and better, especially with the weight class change. But it seems like you're upset that other people don't see that, which I totally understand. And like, I get feeling disrespected from the media and stuff like that. And instead of coming on one of these shows and feeling like that, I thought it'd be a good opportunity for you just to talk about it and just say, like, what the hell's happening? Is it just you feel like you're being overlooked, or you're not getting the respect you deserve?
Well, shoot, we can talk about it, right? Since you asked, right? Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that. You guys are fighters, so y'all know how it is. The biggest thing is when we go out there and we put on a performance of lifetime, and people still don't get the respect that we deserve, or they want to come out of the woodwork now and try to give us a little promotion and try to give us a little, love out of nowhere. It's just like, where was that when I've been working up the ranking, period. So I was just doing Ariel Helwani's show, and to be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of Ariel, because when he be having fighters on, he be like setting them up with certain questions that could potentially, hurt a motherfucking career if you say the wrong thing. Because at the end of the day, this is a business, right? Mm-hmm. And Ariel, he's great at what he does for his job, right? But for me, I feel like, he been enticing certain things within the industry that, like I said, can hurt certain fighters. But me personally, when it comes to me personally, why are you trying to talk to me now? When I did my kick, it was a beautiful situation. Everybody wanted to talk to me, right? But when I took an L, you know what I mean? Didn't hear anything from Ariel. But when I got a couple wins, didn't hear. It wasn't until I got Dust to get in my corner, right? To really, promote the fight, really get people, right, interested in it. Like, man, this dude got the survival tactics. This shit ain't gonna work, And guess what? It did, right? Got the win over Razak Hassan. The first thing he asked me before we got started, he was like, "Hey, you're not upset, are you?" And at first, I didn't really put two together. I was like, "No, why is that?" Oh, well, I haven't talked to you since, the kick and everything, so I just wanted to make sure, whatever. And I was like, well, no, and I even explained it myself, right? I was like, well, guys got to work their way up, so I understand it's just business and all this other stuff. But I realized after that, whole thing, I was like, he only talked to me because I had Dust in my corner. So he really with me whatsoever. And now that I'm on this win streak at 170, you know, and I shouldn't have even taken the interview. I ain't even gonna stunt because it had me feeling some way, and it had me out of character on this show, right? But I feel like, you know, most of the media, when they do not promote us in the light that we should, I really feel like they diminish who we are as a character, as human beings. And for me, like you said, people don't know who I am. People don't even know where I'm from necessarily. And sometimes, you know, we put a lot on the media for that, but I got to realize that I got to take responsibility too, right? So I'm glad that some of the media with me, because now I understand, bro, I'm just going to be promoting myself. So now that I got this win over Vicente Luque, I'm not looking to, you know, get on too many, you know, media shows and try to promote myself, because I'm going to promote myself within myself, right? So people got to come to the source to mess with me or get to know who I am, you know?
Do you think that adds some of adds to the hunger that you have? Like gives you a little bit of an edge, like kind of like a mentality?
I always got that. Hey, I always got that. But just, I mean, just a little bit, but it shaped me to understand that, bro, this business is what it is, and you can't change it, and you ain't gonna change it. So you might as well do what you need to do for yourself and not get upset about it, because that's one thing I did allow it to do. I let it frustrate me, I let it get me upset, and that's only gonna hurt one person, and that's yourself, right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Joaquin, is that they don't give a shit about you.
Hell
You
no.
know, they don't give a about you. They're there to try and use you when they can, if it suits them. But you've got to use that to your benefit. Have that chip on your shoulder. I mean, I had that chip on my shoulder when people wrote me off, said I was never going to achieve anything. I would never amount to anything. I was never good enough, you know, and that fueled me so much. So allow that frustration to benefit your career, because the reality is they're going to love you on the way up. They're going to talk shit when you get to the top. If you become a champion and you lose the belt, then they're really going to come after you. The reality is no one gives a about you, but you, your loved ones, your family, your coaches, your cornermen, and everyone can go. Everyone can.
Yeah. It don't even matter. But sometimes though as well, and it's no disrespect, right? But it's not just the media. It can be my own promotion who I fight for. And I don't mean like the promotion like in the staff, like Sean Shelby or McMahon. And because like the UFC staff with me. Like everybody that work with the UFC. But sometimes I feel like, you know, I still got to work so hard, or harder than everybody that's on the roster, to get just that little bit of extra checking, bro. I don't know. Do y'all remember who won the fight performance bonus the night that I fought?
Saturday night?
Nate definitely deserved that 50K, right? Nate the Train won. Who was the other 2 or 3?
Aslan.
Y'all can look for me.
Aslan had fight of the night.
Who was that?
Aslan versus sexy, bringing sexy back.
Harrington?
Oh my Lord! Just that name alone, y'all need to cut him. They need to cut him.
that name. He said that guy's not in the rankings. He's got to go too.
Yeah, he's a bum. He's a bum.
But rewatching those fights, there was nothing to me that showed me that should have been the fight of the night. And I believe that boy got knocked out, right? He got knocked out. How you receive fight of the night and you got knocked out? When you fight like that, how he was fighting, you deserve to get knocked out. What y'all talking about, right? So I feel like for me, the performance that I put on was well worth 50K. Nobody has ever made Vicente quit. Never. Yeah, and I went out there and dog walked that boy.
There we go.
And don't get it twisted, though. Don't get it twisted. That was the best version of Vicente. He even said it himself. Vicente 3.0. And it still wasn't no match for me. It was still no match for me, bro. So where my look, you know, and this going out to, this going out to the main dude at the top. You know, he don't talk about me no more. He don't say my name, so I ain't finna say his name because y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He don't say my name no more.
All you gotta do is keep winning. All you gotta do is keep winning, Joaquin.
Yeah, man.
You keep having the personality, keep putting on the shows, and for the love of God, next time have a name ready.
I got you. I dropped the bag. I ain't gonna lie. I dropped the bag on that was
no. Joaquin, you're the man. I'm a big fan. I truly mean that. Thanks for your time. We've got Nate Landwehr waiting. In fact, Nate, Brian, you want to
tell Nate to give me a little something. Hey, what up, Nate?
There we go.
Man, I can't get rid of this, man. I see this man at the airport.
Everywhere, boy. I'm gonna be there till you give me that little. Hey, till you give me that little football, dog. I'm gonna be there. You know what I'm
that
talking
sucker
about?
punch connect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rakeem's not happy he didn't get fight of the night. What do you think about that, Nate?
No. I ain't mad because I ain't
he
get fight of the night. I'm mad because I ain't
they
get
definitely
50K.
can stretch that. I mean, I see sometimes they give like 3, 4, 5 bonuses out. So definitely in that situation, it was an odd way to stop it, but it wasn't his fault. It was odd. It was his fault that dude quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bet I could have got the fight of the night and a bonus though. You know what I mean?
See, y'all be trying to reward the other dude. I just want performance of the night and knockout of the night. That's it. Don't give him none. Don't get a
He said, you didn't get none for that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So you guys saw each other at the airport. You fought on the same night.
Yeah.
You got any stories?
We had dinner beforehand.
You had dinner? Jeez,
Yeah,
you guys are like
sucker
best
punch
friends.
retreat.
Yeah.
You got a little story you can share from something behind the scenes that we might like to hear about?
That's up to Nate. If you don't mind me giving the story, that's up to him though.
Oh, you go ahead if you want to.
Nate gave me a lot of motivation, man, leading up into my fight. So obviously, we backstage together, right? And usually at first I thought they put red corner and blue corner all in the same, vicinity, but they actually had us mixed up because he was red corner and I was blue corner. But regardless of that though, right? We was going out there. He was up next. So I was about to get my hands wrapped up and my man getting warmed up, you know what I'm saying? And we just talking. He's like, hey, bro, it's just another fist fight, And he said, bro, you already know. He said, man, I've been fighting since the first grade. I was like, nigga, I heard that. He said, man, I know this dude. Yeah, he stole my football, but I can't have it. This dude trying to take my football, man. Nah. It ain't finna be like that. I said, I feel you, dog. Go get your football back. And then my man said, hold up. He had to call his girl. Called his girl up. He said, hey, baby, I love you. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got that new money. Oh, no, we got that old money, but it's time to get that new money. All right? Baby needs some new shoes and all that. I was like, oh, man, that's straight lit. And then my man went out there, got that knockout on old buddy. Yeah, that shit was lit, man. I ain't gonna lie. So to see that leading up into the fight, boy, that was a lot of motivation. Hell yeah.
Get your blood pumping.
Yeah.
Rakeem, we're going to let you go, brother. Thank you for your time. Let's do this again soon. All the best in your career. And congratulations.
Appreciate y'all.
Yep.
And now we got the one and only Nate the Train Landwehr. The train is still going. What's going on, Nate? How you doing, brother?
Good, man. I was stuck in Detroit yesterday for 5 hours on a delayed plane. I finally made it home on Easter, so it felt good.
That's all you need. You go out there, you put on a show like that, and then you get delayed and stuck in Detroit of all goddamn places for 5 hours.
Yeah. That's where I seen Buck at. They came through Detroit. I was like, okay.
That's wild.
So Jamall Emmers, you got the job done. It was a beautiful KO. Round 1. Emmers, very, very good pedigree. He's a really strong boxer.
Man. I think his resume is worse than he is. I looked him up. I think he beat that Gigi. I think he beat Gigi Jamaya, and I think he beat Jack Jenkins too. Both of those. I think he should literally be, without getting heel hooked, hell, he dropped Pat. So he could have been undefeated in the UFC, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he's really good. Really good. He was coming off the back of a big win over Dennis Bazookia, who got a win Saturday night.
Yeah.
And he connected with a few shots. He was looking slick early, and then you turned it around with the pressure. You got the job done. You got the finish. Walk us through the fight, though, from your perspective, please.
Yeah, man, for real, fighting's all about what you is and what you ain't. You can't be what you ain't, you know what I mean? So he was faster, but I timed him, hit him with the uppercut, and got his ass out of there.
What you don't seem like the type of guy that worries too much about shit going into a fight. But like, if there was anything you guys were kind of focused on in training camp, what's that thing you guys were like, all right, we got to stay away from here. Let's steer away from this shit.
Oh man, I just looking back on my career, as long as I don't get kneed, I feel like I'm winning. That's the only way I got. My major losses come from Dan Ige and get kneed in the face. So I wasn't fighting Dan, and as long as I don't get kneed, I'm probably gonna win.
Yeah, but you all right. I mean, you've highlighted the 2 losses that you had in the UFC, but you've had a lot of wins now as well, and your star is growing in a big way. In fact, who was it? Someone was saying this is bullshit. I don't get the push like Nate the Train. Nate the Train's getting the real big push, and they weren't. But do you feel that? Do you feel the levels of recognition for the hard work that you're doing now? Because as fighters, you know, it's great to win, making money is awesome, but I'm not talking about money and I'm not talking about fame, but just to be recognized for the sacrifices and respected that you're making.
By other men. To be respected by respected man, you know what I mean? No, but it's the way that I live my life, man. Never took an easy fight, never took a shortcut, never made an excuse. If I got something going on in camp, you'll never hear me. Man, I was sick. I stubbed my toe. I broke a finger. All these guys, the thing that they're going to brag about is the same thing they're going to make an excuse about if they don't win. I think these guys, they win, and they'll brag about being sick, and they'll brag about being hurt during camp. They lose, they'll be like, man, but I was hurt. But me, I never make an excuse. And it's the people that I fought on the way to the UFC. I fought this is my 23rd fight. Between those 23 people, my opponents have like 157 finishes between them all. I mean, 257 finishes between the 23 guys I fought. Wow. I fought nothing but finishers, nothing but winners. I don't fight guys. I fight a guy, he gonna go on a win streak after. I don't fight losers. I fight champions. I fight people that want to win, that's destined to win, and I beat them.
You know what? I just realized as you were talking, I don't ever hear you talk too much about where you're going either. Like I've never heard you I've obviously never heard you make an excuse or really talk too badly about anybody, but like you always want that next big fight, but I've never heard you talk too much about like the end goal. Like what does the end result look like for you? Like where are you headed?
Man, my goal has always been to not quit fighting, is to retire. I hate when people be like, I'm retiring. Well, you ain't really retiring unless you got some money. You just quitting.
Yeah.
So the end result's always been for me is to feed my family and fund my future, man, and make some badass footage on the way I fight. Like I'm already done. I'm looking back on it and I'm trying to add tallies.
You can retire when you've got one eye though, on the good up, just in my defense.
That too, yeah. But think about it, that one good eye that you had was looking at some money.
It was. It still is. Nate, I could talk to you all day, but you said something last week, because I know you're so proud to represent Clarksville, Tennessee. They've got the Nate Landwehr Day, right? Is that still a thing?
Yeah, we got the Nate the Train Day.
Nate the Train Day, there it is, which is just unbelievable. Congrats on that. I got to come to a Nate the Train Day. I bet that's wild. But you were talking, though, because in December, your town, Clarksville, it was hit by some pretty serious tornadoes, right? And there's a lot of damage.
Yeah, it destroyed.
7 people passed away.
Yeah, it was not a good time. But you know, my city's resilient. The same day it happened, I'm talking about anybody with a truck was out, getting all the stores was empty in a good way. It wasn't a bad way empty. Everybody was buying stuff to give. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes when a disaster happens, you go to the store and everything's cleared off the shelves because people hoarding it and they're being greedy. Everything was cleared off the shelf because people wanted to give to somebody who needed it. And it's we got a big military base. We the home of the 101. So we got the Night Stalkers, Fort Campbell, big time Army base, and man, we strong over here.
That's beautiful, though. And when you hear things like that, it restores your faith in humanity. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the time in the media, you just hear about doom and gloom and shittiness and just tragedies. But to hear people going out there emptying the shelves to give to other people, that's amazing. What is the population there?
I would say it's hard to say because it's like we're basically 2 cities because we're right on the border of Kentucky. So we got the Fort Campbell base. I would say about 200,000 altogether.
Okay.
200,000. We got a big college, Austin Peay State University, a D1 school. And then we got the Army base that brings people in. Plus, we're about an hour away from Nashville. So that's been bringing in a bunch of cats.
Nice. What do you do in your spare time? Yeah, unfortunately. I've tried to drag this out of you once before too. What do you do like in your free time when you're not punching people in the face on ESPN and then training? Like what do you
last time he was decorating the house.
Yeah, I'm an avid. I like painting. That's what I do. I paint houses, and I'm an avid gardener, man. Love
no
gardening.
Shit.
I've been
what are you growing?
Really?
What are you growing?
I grow everything I can eat, man. When I'm in town, it's crazy because it's like I'm out here fighting my ass off to live a life that sometimes I don't get to live because I do my camps down in South Florida. So I gotta go do that time, man. And just it fuels the fire because it's like I gotta be away now, not only away from my wife and my rest of my family, but I'm away from my son, and it just drives me. And when I'm home, I'm growing food. I grow everything. I got vegetables. I got fruit trees. I got little fruit bushes. I mean, I'm talking about everything you could think of. I got it.
No shit.
Wow.
So do you hate leaving?
You got a farm?
Yeah, I got about 2 acres.
Oh,
yeah.
How many?
About 2 acres.
There you go. That's enough. That's enough.
Yeah, that's enough.
Do you so I'm in training camp right now. I live in Nebraska, but I do my training camps in Denver. So I'm in Denver. I'm away too. So do you hate it when you're gone? Like every second of it?
It's not like a hate, but it's more like a necessary evil. Like, man, it's like I hate the fact that I got pushed out because it's like I would love to do my training camps here, but it's not built for that. I didn't have enough people, so it's kind of like I had a force. But you got to grow. What are you going to do? Stay behind? So you got to fill that gap. So you go somewhere where it fills that gap. And it's like the thing that is good about it is that when I'm away, think about when you're at home, you're a father, you're the owner, I'm a gardener, so many things when you're at the house. But when you're away at training camp, you want a motherfucker on a mission.
Yeah.
So that in that aspect, it's like, okay. Laser focus. Let's go. Somebody's gonna pay for this.
Yeah, I always say that when I started training here in 2016 or 2017, I was so pissed about it because I wish I could just have this at home. But I feel like if I had this exact same thing at home, it wouldn't be as good because now you're mowing the grass in the morning and then you're going to practice and then you're picking your kid up from school and then going back to practice. Like you got to turn that switch on and off. Yeah. It's a grind.
100%,
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it, but it's necessary.
Yeah, but it also fuels you as well because, as you just said, you're mowing the lawn or you're coming back and you're just messing around with day-to-day bullshit. Now you're locked in. You're at a dorm. You're in a hotel, at Airbnb, wherever it is that you live, just thinking about the fight 24/7, getting ready. It's kind of like
fantasizing, just going through it.
Yeah. Going crazy in your mind, training like a madman.
When I get that mic, I'm gonna say something. Give me that mic. But you know what? I gotta beat somebody up just to say some shit.
What did you say Saturday night? I can't remember. I was too busy trying to get the microphone to your bicep because you kept doing this, and I'm like, motherfucker, I gotta get past the biceps.
I gotta start bringing a little dumbbell in there with me, so I had a couple pumps in.
So, Nate, you seem like a very, very chilled guy, but in the octagon, I mean, you're a wild guy. I love the way you fight. I love the ferocity and the aggression that you bring, but also you got strategy as well. On the microphone, you're a promoter's dream. You know what I mean? You always got some great Ric Flair, WWE style promos, but you seem like a very chilled out guy. You know, you're on the farm, you're growing your vegetables. So is there like two versions of Nate the Train?
I think it's just like in general, every man has multiple facets of him. You know what I mean? Nobody's just one thing. To my wife, I'm not the same thing as I would to a stranger trying to steal something from me. You know what I mean? To my son, I'm not the same as I would be. You know what I mean? Everybody has these different facets about them. And when y'all see me in the cage, I'm in battle mode. And then when you see me with the mic, I just won. Obviously, I won. You ain't gonna give me the mic if I ain't win something. Obviously, hyped up to the point to where the highest high you could feel. I mean, y'all two can relate to it. There's no high like that one high. It kind of, that's why when these kids ask me, what's one of the takeaways about fighting them? It's gonna dull down the rest of them Saturdays. There's 52 Saturdays a year, and you feel one of them things like this. Them other 51 ain't gonna be quite like that. You can have a good time, but it ain't gonna be like that time.
You're so right. Did you make a call outside there? I can't remember.
I didn't. It's just one of those things that I got this big ass cut on my head. I'm just trying to see how the division plays out, man. And I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get back. But you know who I always wanted to fight? We came in the UFC around the same time as Billy Q. But he just took that L. But man, he's still a gangster.
Mm-hmm.
He got
I
that
think
cardio.
you should be looking
He's
at the
a savage.
rankings.
Yeah,
be
so
looking
the
at the
UFC
rankings,
want me
Nate.
to pop off in the. I want another shot at them rankings, but I mean, there's a bunch of good fighters. You got Nathaniel Woods, that's good. You got of course, you got Dan Ige. I wouldn't mind having that Julian
Alex
Rosa fight back.
Caceres is number 15.
Caceres, I wouldn't mind fighting Caceres because we were supposed to fight, didn't get that fight. So I mean, there's so many possibilities. It's whatever the UFC want. They want me to go against a banger. They want me to prove myself top 15. I'm down.
Yeah,
They already know I'm down though.
Like they don't even got to call you first. They call you second.
Yeah, my
here's what you
manager
got.
just calls me. I'm like, yes, and they're like, no, I didn't call you for that. Yeah, but shout out to Brian Butler. Every time he calls me, I'm just like, yes, win. He's like, no, I was just calling to tell you that something else.
So you guys all got the same manager, right?
Yeah, me and Buck do. Yeah,
Him and Buckley. Yeah. Yeah, Brian's just my buddy. I like talking to Brian. He's a different type of dude. I like talking to him. Yeah.
He stopped here. I call him Uncle Brian. He's like a good uncle.
I feel like every time I do something stupid in the media, Brian calls. So anytime his phone, like his name pops up on my phone, I'm like, I must have said something stupid because he's calling.
He should go ahead and run for politician of some sort.
The president.
So you back at home now? You back in Clarksville?
Back in Clarksville. Yeah, I got home last night. Yeah.
And what's the plan for the rest of the week?
Plan for the rest of the week, I got just chill at this hill. See all my family lives in Clarksville. So my mom has a big family. So I got a bunch of aunts and cousins, and so I see them, see my nephews, see my sister, see my brother, see everybody I ain't been to see all my homies that I ain't seen. You know, you got these friends that you friends with, but only friends you really got is the Mats, the Mitts, and the heavy bag for a while. So get to see all them and spend some time with my family, plant some seeds. I gotta get these potatoes in the ground. I'm a little late.
You better get after it.
Beautiful, man, and I'm jealous.
Yeah. When you on that garden lifestyle, you got to live a different cycle. It's like, hold on, I'm a couple of weeks late, baby.
Shit. Get the potato seeds in. Well, we won't keep you any longer, Nate. Big fan. Congratulations. Saturday night, phenomenal performance once again. And I look forward to the next one. Enjoy your week.
Smooth
Enjoy
out,
the planting. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, Mike. All right, my
Take
man.
it easy, brother.
Take care, man.
All right.
All right, today's episode is sponsored by Shopify, which is revolutionizing people's businesses. It's allowing them to get online, to sell to the entire world, to take all major payment methods very, very easy, and just to help you grow and scale your business in a really cost-effective way. Shopify, it will get you online very quick with a professional looking website. As I say, it will allow you to accept every major payment method, and it will allow you to sell across all social media marketplaces like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. They have a 24/7 customer service helpline. They've got an extensive business course library. They are there to support your success every single step of the way. And what's incredible to me about Shopify is no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify is there to empower you with confidence and control to revolutionize your business and to take your business to the next level. So now it is the time to get serious about selling and try Shopify. If you've thought about this for a long time, but you've never taken that step, you haven't taken the plunge, Shopify is how you want to do it. If you've got a business, if you've got an idea, Shopify will be the tool that you need to make it a reality. Right now, you can sign up for Shopify for just $1 per month. As I say, you'll have a website, you'll have a place to sell, you'll be able to accept all major payment methods for $1 per month, a trial period, like shopify.com/believe. So right now, go to shopify.com/believe to take your business to the next level today. Shopify.com/believe. All right, so Nate the Train bringing the goods once again. Love that guy. Absolutely love him.
He's just refreshing. He's refreshing. He reminds me of like a couple of my real country cousins. They're just really chill and relaxed, and like everything you say or everything he says, I believe, because he just seems such a genuine, honest guy.
And he seems like he's got his priorities all in the right place. You know what I mean? Doing everything for the right reasons. Anyway, you got to go. You're in bloody training camp. Yeah. How is camp going real quick?
It's going really good, Mike. It's going really, really good. I feel like I'm moving really well. My conditioning's coming along. The weight's coming down. Me and Mark are on the same page as far as just because sometimes we're not. Every once in a while, it's like he wants this game plan, I want this one, and so we're kind of every once in a while we butt heads and go with his idea, anyways. But this one we're on the same page. I feel good.
Well, he's the coach. That's what you're paying for, I guess. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we'll do some questions and we'll let you get out of here. If you got a question, please send it in to bympod@gmail.com.
And if you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you find podcasts, make sure to subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps out on those platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new video drops. And if you want to catch over 500 episodes you can't find anywhere else, completely ad-free and totally uncensored, head to gasdigital.com. Use the promo code BYM14, get a 2-week free trial, and check out over 20 great shows on the network.
All right, first question we got here today is from Mr. Bailey Fouts.
What up, Mike and Anthony? Bailey from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Good luck on your next fight, Anthony, number one. Number two, I was listening to your guys' episode earlier today and heard you guys don't get enough real personal questions, only MMA questions, so I'll ask you a real personal question, see what you guys think about it. My dilemma right now is I grew up on a farm, smaller town. Everybody always told me that I needed to go get a college degree, get a good job, stuff like that. So I go to college, I get a nice degree in accounting, my bachelor's. I'm going to school right now for my master's in accounting. Right after I graduate, I get the perfect accounting job, corporate, great benefits, really pretty office, nice view. Really nice people in the corporation where I work, nice boss, everything. I mean, they even feed me donuts, candy, everything that I want pretty much. And it's a great place to work, I can't lie, but I hate it. Really wish I worked back home with my family on the farm. Dilemma is, doesn't pay good compared to what I'm making right now. I mean, it's just, I don't know, I don't like it. And I don't know what to do. It's a struggle, and I'm sure it's a struggle that more than just me go through. So I want to know what you guys thought. Hopefully that was a real enough question. Fuck you, Harrington and Brian. Not everything is a conspiracy theory.
Very well said on all fronts. And that is a great question. And Bailey, thank you very much. Well, I'm glad you said that because Callum, my son's kind of going through a similar thing right now. He just got his first job working for a big Fortune 500 company. So he's got a really good job. And so far, I hope nobody from the job watches this. He's still settling in and he's not sure that he loves it. You know what I mean? But it's like, that's just part of life. Now for you, Bailey, of course, you studied accounting. Now you've got a job as an accountant. It's a good firm. You're making good money and you hate it. So first of all, you got to put happiness over money. You can't always be chasing the dollar. Of course, we need money to make the world go round. Okay. We need it to pay the bills and to have freedom in life. You need that. But is your being miserable? I'd rather have less money and be happy. However, the fact that you studied accounting was probably the wrong thing because that's boring. I'm sure that's what you're finding in your day to day. However, those skills, that time that you spent at college, the life lessons that you learned, the education that you gathered, this is your first job. Who knows what you're going to end up doing. You're a young man. You just finished college. You've got your first job. You don't like it. There's probably some adjustment periods to go on. You got to get used to the lifestyle. But you're a young guy. God knows where life is going to take you. Like my brother Adam, he studied as an accountant and he was going to be an accountant. And now he's a warrant officer in the army, which is the highest rank a non-officer can get. And he's loving it. He's flying all over the world with the army. He's always taking troops out for skiing lessons and stuff in Austria and whatnot. He's living a great life. He's making a good living and he's very, very happy. So just follow your instincts, follow, your soul, but you got to give the job a fair shake. You got to give it a fair shake and see how it pans out because you might end up liking it after a little bit of time, but you can't put financial gain over your personal happiness. Anthony, give me your take, please.
Well, I agree with pretty much everything you said. I would add, though, there's always other opportunities. I think sometimes people look at things, and I think this is the benefit of what we've done with our lives is everything is so black and white, I think, to the rest of the world. I either have to be an accountant or I go back home to my farm town and do that. Like those are the only two options. And I think as fighters and being in the world that we've lived in, we've been forced to have to make other options because option A and option B suck. So we got to come up with our own option. Like maybe it's not that black and white for him. It could be maybe you use this really cushy, great paying accountant job to fund whatever you want to do back home. Like instead of just saying I'm living here, I'm working here at this place, and this is what I'm doing, it can always be I'm using this shitty opportunity that's financially doing really well to fund something else when you get back. Like some of the people when I was growing up that made the most money were actually like the accountants for the farmers in the small town that I grew up on. It's like the money guys that were connected to the farming community. Like you can always mesh those two communities together, or find another way to make it work. You can, who knows, stash a bunch of money from your great job and then go back home and figure out how to make that into something successful, more successful financially at home. I mean, you just got to make other paths. If path A and path B are ones that you don't necessarily like, then you got to create your own path. And that's something that I think that we've mastered, of just digging our own way through and figuring it out at the end, instead of kind of taking the cookie cutter, like I'm either going to go back home or I'm going to stay here and do this. Like you can figure out your own way.
Yeah, and that's not what I meant. Like quit that job to go back to work.
No, I know what you meant.
But for you, what was his name? Bailey. You got to get life experience. You got to, and a lot of the time you've got to figure out what you don't like. You obviously thought you were going to enjoy being an accountant, but you don't. And I was always very jealous personally of people that knew what they wanted to do from an early age. And those people, I think there's less of them than they make a small amount of the population. Most people don't have a clue, and we're figuring it out. And I'm still trying to figure it out at this stage of my life. I'm a retired fighter. I was a successful fighter and I've got a great career now, but I'm still like, what am I going to do for the next 20 years? So you're always figuring it out. You're always looking for the next thing. But right now, stick your job out, figure some stuff out, learn what you don't like, make connections. And who knows, maybe you go from accounting to something else. As you said, Anthony, save some money, go train in a slightly different field. You've got an education, you've got some qualifications behind you, and you can use that to open other doors. As you said, you could become the biggest farmer accounting guru in all of South Texas or wherever it is that you live, Bailey. But I know nothing about accounting, but I can add up pretty good. But good luck, Bailey. Good luck, whatever you do. Life's a journey, man. Good luck on the journey. Listen, just
keep us posted.
See what doors this will open. It will open doors. And if it's not opening doors, then maybe you got to close the door on that one at some point. You know what I mean? But all the best. Good luck. One more and we'll let Anthony get out of here, because I can see the stress. I can see the anxiety. I can see you thinking, this is my nap time, my eating time, my recovery time. Mark Montoya is going to be kicking your ass, Bisping. Brian.
All right. Next question we have here is from Ben.
Ben.
Hey guys, my name is Ben. Just a couple quick questions. Mike, Anthony, what's the most pain you've ever experienced inside the octagon? And what's the most pain you've ever experienced outside of the octagon? Physical, emotional, whatever. Thank you for the podcasts. You guys are legends. Be excellent to each other. Peace out from New Zealand. Sure.
Thank you, brother. That's very nice. A nice way of finishing that. Be excellent to each other. That's nice.
Yeah.
If only. Quote. Dude, what is it? Anthony, most pain in a fight.
Losing to John Jones.
I thought you were going to say getting your teeth knocked out of Glover.
No, I can't ever recall a time where something was extremely painful in a fight, like where it was unbearable. I don't know that I ever full recovered from losing to John Jones, like completely. I think I'm a different person than I was before. Like I left that octagon a different person than I walked in. That's for sure. So it took me a long time to like emotionally digest that. And then I don't know, you leave your home, like wherever you live, you leave there, and like in your head, I'm going to come back a world champion. And then like on the plane right there, like you've envisioned all this stuff. Like I'm going to have a belt bag and it's going to be up in top of the plane. And then like you're on the plane, you're like, yeah, well, that was wrong. And then you get off of it and like in your head, people are going to be celebrating you because you're this, this world champion from nothing and a place that no one cares about. And then you're not, and no one's there when you get back. No one really gives a anymore. Sponsors start dropping you, and it's a dark place.
It is. But you know what? That's what all the fighters are experiencing whenever they lose as well, to a certain degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe not quite as dramatic circumstances. In terms of in octagon pain, there isn't anything that stands out. I think it's because of the adrenaline. You don't really feel pain in a traditional sense. Of course. In fact, I don't even remember getting cracked in the face and thinking that hurt. Never.
No, I can recall one time I got hit with an elbow, and you ever like been hit with something and you got to rub it because it itches? I got hit with an elbow one time, and I remember being like, that was stupid. It lasts a second, but you're like, this is stupid.
I'm not saying I've never been hurt. I was hurt plenty of times, but never actually had the conscious feeling of, oh, that really hurts. You're either rocked, where you kind of wobble it, knocked out cold, you don't feel shit, or the adrenaline just masks it all. In terms of most pain outside of the octagon was my eye. When it went blind, I detached my retina, it got repaired, it redetached. I went for a walk, and then I started getting this kind of headache. I laid down face down on the floor because that was the only thing that seemed to ease the pain. And then the headache just got worse and worse and worse and worse. It literally felt like my head was going to explode. You know that scene in Casino where they put the guy's head in a vice and they're squeezing the head in the vice?
You'll never guess this.
Go on.
I've never seen Casino.
Jesus Christ, bro. You've got to see Casino. Well, there's a scene where a guy's got his head in a vice and they're like, you cocksucker, just give me the name. And he's making the vice tighter and tighter. Anyway, that's what my head felt like. And it was like, and got to like 4 a.m. and I was still experiencing it. I went to 2 different hospitals. They gave me medication. None of it helped. And I've probably told this story before, but when I was driving to the hospital at 4 a.m. to Pasadena, the pain was just unbelievable. A regular person's eye pressure is between 9 and 20. Mine was in the high 80s. They'd never seen it that high because the drain in my eye, because where the water comes out, was blocked. So I always explain it like this: a balloon on the end of a tap filling with water, what happens? Well, eventually it's going to pop. And that's what was going on with my eye. The pressure killed the nerve endings. And that's why I never saw out of it again. So yeah, there you go. That's your answer. And that is it. Yeah. That is the show. You've got to go. You've been great, Anthony. Nate Landwehr was amazing. Joaquin Buckley was great.
Yeah.
Harrington was terrible.
Yeah.
Brian was okay.
Brian's okay.
Brian's okay. We'll be back on Monday, guys. Take care.